Hey y'all, it's Jessica from Sloppy Swatches. Today I finally have my swatches of the Natural 3 collection by Zoya. It's available right now. I do believe that the Zoya promo to buy 4 polishes or lipsticks and get them free, just pay shipping. I think it's about $15. I'll go ahead and link my blog post for more information about that, and I'll get right into this swatch stamp and review. So first up is Tatum, and Tatum is described as a medium light nude cream with a warm base in the classic 2-coat coverage cream. So this is the lightest of the Natural 3 collection. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Tatum swatched on my natural nail. So here is the first coat. I will say that these polishes are a little bit on the thicker side, not too thick. The issue I had though is that the polish likes to travel down the stem and kind of end up doing a really thick coat, so you may want to be careful why you do that. These were also a little bit slow to self-level, but they do get there. This first coat was just a tiny bit streaky, so I'll let this dry and come back in for a second coat. So here is my second coat. I ended up doing a little bit thicker of a second coat than I even intended to, but it does for sure bring this one completely opaque. These polishes all dry down really glossy, so you may not need a top coat. If you like skipping that step, it does kind of help self-level these out a little bit more than maybe they would on their own. So here is a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle under artificial lighting. I'll also be sharing how these stamp today. These are amazing stampers. Here it is over my white acrylic. It's going to be a little bit subtle, but it did pick up all the detail. I'll also show you how it's stamped over my black DRK matte with some top coat laid down. These do a fabulous job over darker colors. I had a little bit of a glare there, but it is super opaque and picked up all the details. So next up is Kathy, and Kathy is described as a light pinky nude cream in the classic 2-coat coverage formula. So this one is a little bit warmer, maybe a little bit more pink. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Kathy swatched on my natural nail. So here it is, one easy coat again. This one went on fairly easily, a little bit streaky maybe, and then again a little bit slow to self-level. I did end up doing a bit of a thicker first coat here, and it was just shy of being completely opaque for me. I did still have a little bit of streakiness there, so I am going to let this dry and come back in for a second coat. I feel like if you do a nice, careful first coat, you could get away with one. I'll go ahead and show you what 2 looks like here. So again, I did a little bit thicker of a second coat than I maybe intended to. It did travel down the stem a little bit on me. So 2 coats for sure brings Kathy completely opaque. Here's a view at the completed mani without top coat. So these are nice and super glossy. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And then once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So really quickly, I'll show you how Kathy stamped over my white acrylic. Again, a little bit subtle, but you do get all of that detail and it stamps really nicely. And once more over my black DRK matte, super opaque, all the details are there, really great for stamping. Next up is my top pick of the collection, and this is Jill. Jill is described as a lighter mauve cream nude in the classic 2-coat coverage formula. So this one is a little bit warmer, a little bit deeper. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Jill swatched on my natural nail. So here is the first coat. Again, with a thicker first coat, I really recommend kind of going in thinner if you can. If you need to build it up in 2 coats, it's no problem at all. The problem with a thicker coat is that it's going to take a little bit longer to dry, and it's going to be a little bit less able to self-level. So a thinner coat will not give you those problems. I did have a little bit of ridge there, but this was completely opaque for me in one thicker coat. So here's a look at the completed mani without top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So I'll show you how Jill stamped over my white acrylic. This is going to give you a little bit more pop over a lighter color. Again, all those details were pretty well there. I'll show you how it's stamped over my black DRK matte, and this pops perfectly over a dark color as well. So next up is a Meri, and if you watched my water marble video, this is the one that gave me a little bit of problem. Meri can be described as a medium raisin cream in the classic 2-coat coverage formula. So this one is a little bit warmer again, a little bit deeper. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Meri swatched on my natural nail. So here is my first coat. I did try to do a nice thin first coat here, and it was a little bit streaky, but I definitely had less problems getting it to lay smooth. I do feel like Meri may be a little bit thicker than the others. So here is my first coat. I'll let this dry and then come back in for a second coat. So here is my second coat. Again, I'm going to be a little bit mindful to make sure that I wipe off the stem so I don't have any rolling issues of the polish. And 2 coats, it does go on nice and smooth and brings this one completely opaque for me. So here is a look at the completed mani before top coat. So again, really nice and glossy. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting. And once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So really quickly, I'll show you how Meri stamped over my white acrylic. This, of course, is a deeper color, so it's going to show up a little bit better over a lighter color. I'll also show you how it stamps over my black DRK matte. Again, super opaque. This is going to work really over any lighter color or any darker color. So next up is Gina, and Gina is described as a medium brown neutral cream in the classic 2-coat coverage formula. So this is a warmer, deeper shade. I like that Zoya kind of went deeper in degree, so it's really going to match a lot of different skin tones. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Gina swatched on my natural nail. For this one, I just kind of went with it. It naturally fell off of the brush. It kind of rolled down perfectly into a thicker first coat here, but I did get good complete coverage. So just make sure that you work it and get it nice and evenly across the nail. This one was a little bit faster to self-level as well. I'll go ahead and cap the tip. And this was opaque for me in 1 coat, so here's a look at the completed mani before top coat. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and then once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So I'll show you how Gina stamped for me over my white acrylic. Pretty much the same. These are flawless stampers. It works really well over a lighter and over darker colors. So you even get a good pop over there over that black. So lastly today I have Debbie, and this is another favorite of mine. It's described as a plum brown cream in the classic 2-coat coverage formula. So this polish does have a good amount of that purple coloring or a little bit of that plum. I think that's a perfect description. I'll go ahead and show you a brush shot, and I'll show you how Debbie applied on my natural nail. So here is just one easy coat of Debbie. I do feel like Debbie had a little bit of a better self-leveling ability to it. It wasn't too thick or too thin. It went on just really nicely, really smoothly for me. One coat did bring Debbie completely opaque. So here is a look at that completed mani before top coat. This is a little bit of a deeper kind of vampy color. It's going to be great on darker skin tones for sure, as well as lighter. This is my swatch photo under artificial lighting, and once more at an angle under artificial lighting. So I'll show you how Debbie stamped for me over that white acrylic. Again, just perfect, flawless, no issues at all. I'll show you how it's stamped over my black DRK matte. It did a great job of picking up all of the small details. It's going to pop a little bit less over black because it is a darker color. So that wraps up my swatch stamp and review of the Natural 3 collection available now from Zoya. These were sent to me for review, and I'll go ahead and link Zoya's social media as well as storefront down below. If you'd like to see how these water marble, I do have that available as well. I'll link it. I found it really helpful to see all the colors drop together in a bullseye. It kind of helps you see the tones and differences in the polishes. If you'd like to see more photos, I do have those available on my blog at sloppyswatches.wordpress.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at sloppyswatches. So thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.